Looking at and working with polynomial functions. So let's start by looking at our vocabulary. Polynomial is a monomial or a sum of monomials. And we can use the example 2x plus 3x squared minus 4. The degree is the exponent of the variable. So for instance, if we look at 3x squared, our degree is the exponent, which is 2. So our degree is 2. Standard form of a polynomial is the order of the polynomial. It needs to be in descending order. So if we took our polynomial we have up here and wrote it in descending order, we'd have 3x squared plus 2x minus 4. The degree of the polynomial is the largest degree of any terms of the polynomial. So for instance, looking at this, our highest degree of all three of these terms is a 2. This one has a degree of 1, this one has a degree of 0. So let's look at classifying. If we have a degree of 0, it's considered a constant. So an example would be 6. This has one term, so we can call it a monomial. If we have a degree of 1, it's called a linear. So an example would be x plus 3. Here's our linear term. Here we have 2 terms, so it's a binomial. If we have a degree of 2, it's a quadratic. So an example would be a negative 4x squared plus 2x minus 6. Here's our degree of 2. We have 1, 2, 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. If we have a degree of 3, it's called a cubic. So 2x to the third minus 5, there's our degree of 3. There are 1, 2 terms, so it's a binomial. If we have a degree of 4, it's called a quartic. X to the fourth plus 3x squared, so there's our fourth degree. There are 2 terms, so it's a binomial. We have a degree of 5, which is called quintic. So negative 2x to the fifth plus 3x squared minus x plus 4. So there's our degree of 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So it's called a polynomial of 4 terms. So let's take a look at classifying. If we take a look at our first one, 4x minus 6x plus 5, we have like terms, which combine together to be negative 2x plus 5. So if we look at the number of terms, there are 2 terms, so it's called a binomial. And our highest degree is a 1, so it's a linear. So let's take a look at this next one. We have 2 like terms, 3x to the third and 2x to the third. Those combine together to be 5x to the third plus x squared minus 4x. We have 1, 2, 3 terms, so it's a trinomial, and our highest degree is 3, so it's cubic. So our last one, there are no like terms, but it's not in standard form. So if we write in standard form, we have negative 2x to the fifth plus 6. So we have 1, 2 terms to be a binomial, and our highest degree is 5, so it's a quintic. So let's flip over to the back side. We want to simplify and then classify by the number of terms. So here, we end up with 3x squared plus 5x minus 1. When we distribute our negative 1, we have minus x squared minus 6. So if we combine our like terms, we have 2x squared plus 5x, and then minus 1 and a negative 6, or a negative 7. So we have 3 terms, so it's a trinomial, and our highest degree is 2. So it's a quadratic. Let's take a look at this one. There's a positive 1 in front, so if we distribute that, we still end up with negative 3x to the fourth minus 5x squared plus 1x minus 7. If we distribute this positive 1, we end up with 6x to the fourth plus x to the third minus 2x plus 3. So if we combine our like terms, negative 3x to the fourth plus 6x to the fourth is a positive 3x to the fourth. Then we don't have, oh, we have an x to the third. So plus x to the third. Then we have 1x squared, so minus 5x squared. X minus 2x's is a negative 1x. Negative 7 plus 3 is a negative 4. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. So we have a polynomial of 5 terms. And our highest degree is 4. So it's a quartic. So let's look at multiplying. If I take x times 2x, we end up with 2x squared. Now if we distribute our 2x squared times 3x is 6x to the third. 2x squared minus 1 is a negative, or sorry, times by a negative 1 is negative 2x squared. So we have two terms. So we're working with a binomial. And our highest degree is 3. So we're working with a cubic. Let's look at this last one. Before we start, I'm going to change this to a power of 2. So that means we have 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 plus 5x plus 3. So if we FOIL, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. 1 times 2x is 2x. And 1 times 1 is 1. And we still have our plus 5x plus 3. So if we combine our like terms, 4x squared has nothing to combine with. 2x plus 2x is 4x, plus 5x is 9x. And 1 plus 3 is 4. So we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So it's a trinomial. And our highest degree is 2. So we're working with a quadratic.